Hi guys, Ifiok here. Welcome to Ifiok Trades, where we talk about technical analysis as a tool, not for prediction, but as a tool to manage your profits and your losses. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how important the 200 EMA is. And well, it's something I have discussed. If you have been privy to my free ebook, it's something I had discussed in this ebook, Why Most NGX Investors Lose. It's a free guide. A lot of the concepts that we talk about here is found in here. And so I'm just going to expound a little on why the 200 EMA is such an important technical tool if you're utilizing technical analysis. So please follow me on Twitter, also follow me on TradingView, like, share, subscribe if you found this video useful. But if you didn't find this video useful, also please let me know. And if you found it useful, also please let me know. All right, so let's just move right straight onto it. But before then, in my previous post on Twitter, I talked about the NGX psychological levels, and we talked about how if you have followed me for any length of time, you know that the NGX, or let's make this into a bigger screen, that's this NGX, the ASI, that's the all share index for the NGX, is just a point-based system to how well the market is doing. And you can see that the market has only gone up since about April 2025. It has just been on a major rally, but the psychological levels where it has moved from, currently it's at 247,357, but currently that's where it is currently, but it has moved from an area of 100,000 to an area of 150,000 to an area of 200,000 to an area right now where we are at 250. And some people have asked me what these points are. These are areas of huge liquidity where there was a lot of selling or buying, but mainly selling. And so this area at 253, that was this peak. This peak was at 254,000. So I'll be optimistic. I'm usually the pessimist when it comes to investing. I'm a chosen pessimist. So, but my expectation is that prices, because there's a lot of demand, and the Nigerian stock market has been seen to be doing very well, even internationally. And so because of that, I'm hoping that the demand continues to rise and the all share index continues to go upwards. That's my hope. And then we'll go to the next psychological level of 300,000. But being the pessimist, it is possible that it can reject. Now, don't forget that there was rejection over here that came down. So this is moving towards another area. So it's either it finds engagement and moves all the way to 300 level, or it finds rejection right again around 250,000 and continues to fall down. Or we have to wait and see. All right, so let's just move right on to what we're talking about, which is the 200 EMA. And we're going to be talking about 6 or 7 stocks that have respected the 200 EMA on the Nigerian stock market. And we'll be looking at the banking sector. We'll also look at consumer goods, and then we'll look at oil and gas, and also agro-allied. Okay, so let's just first of all start off with Firstholdco. All right, and it's currently at 120.5, has done fantastically well. But here is what I am looking at. So at the point where we found liquidity, what happened? Prices moved straight towards the 200 EMA, and it was only after prices had revisited the 200 EMA that prices now did a thunderous rally upwards. So you can see a lot of respect for the 200 EMA, even for Firstholdco. All right, so let's look at another one. Let's look at Access Bank. So if you had followed my video on Access Bank, I had mentioned that Access Bank was at possibly an area of opportunity. And part of the reasons why I had mentioned that Access Bank might be at a point of opportunity was because at the point when I said it, price action was very close to the 200 EMA. Was very close. And so I find that even under the 200 EMA is an area of opportunity, because what happens, price always has to come back close to the 200 EMA. It's just always a matter of time. And so price came back to the 200 EMA, and what happened, we had a catastrophic move upwards. That's where we are currently with Access Bank at 29 naira 20 kobo, from where it was around the 200 EMA at around 24 naira 20 kobo thereabouts. Okay, let's look at Guinness. Now Guinness moved from an area of liquidity over here and moved all the way down. See respect for the 200 EMA. Very serious respect, and it was only after it found support here that it is now moving, accelerating upwards. Another respect for the 200 EMA. Very simply seen. So that's Guinness. We're going to look at this is Nestle. Nestle, after a point of liquidity here, has found a decline. Is declining currently towards the 200 EMA. So it could actually stop around here. It's very close to the 200 EMA, or it could continue to decline. This was an area of distribution, and so this is an area where there is decline. Decline sometimes always leads to the 200 EMA. Let's move to the one that I'm very excited about, and it's Ellah Lakes, and I've been talking about it a whole lot on my Twitter handle, and I feel like it's in an area of opportunity, my own feelings, and it's largely because when I look at it technically, and all of these time frames that we've looked at on the charts have been on the daily time frame. So price action has left the 200 EMA, right? Completely left the 200 EMA, and the next thing I expect that price should do is be attracted back to the 200 EMA. That's what my expectations are. I'll be completely wrong if prices go below 8 naira per share. Currently prices are 8.85 naira per share, but I'm expecting price to reclaim the 200 EMA and then move higher. We just have to wait and see what happens in the future. All right, so we're looking at Okomu Oil area of distribution, and then decline landed very close to the 200 EMA, right? And I'm expecting that prices can bounce off from here. That's my expectation. It might not be necessarily what happens in the future, but that's what I feel, that price can bounce off from 1,418. That's for Okomu Oil. It can go back and retest its all-time high around, I think, 1,760 thereabouts. It could do that, or it could even continue to go lower. It just remains to be seen. All right, so we'll look at the very last one, which is Aradel. So Aradel had distribution, then decline. It declined all the way close to the 200 EMA. Currently has found support around 200 EMA and is currently moving upwards. Price is currently at 1,526. At the point here, it was at 1,275 thereabouts, and found support. And currently, prices is actually leaving 200 EMA and moving upwards. Okay, so I just tried to show you how powerful the 200 EMA is. So even as an investor, if the only thing you look at technically is 200 EMA, you're in very good standing. Very, very good standing. If all you decide to do as an investor is only invest when prices are close to the 200 EMA, you are doing yourself a very great service. All right, so I hope this was useful. If it wasn't useful, please let me know. If it was useful, also let me know. Leave a like, leave a comment, do something to let me know whether you liked it or you didn't like it. All right, so I'll see you in my very next video.